Hello, this is Ben Shatliff on Sunday, and it is Sunday, February the 6th, 2022. I hope that everybody is well. This week on the programme, as well as looking at the main news stories of the day, we'll be looking back on a week of what we call the ABCs of potential resignations. Who are the three people involved? We'll find out in a few moments. Two may not be a surprise, or all three may not be a surprise. Plus, of course, today we remember two very special things. One, the Munich air disaster on February the 6th, 1958, and of course, on this day in 1952, the death of King George VI, which led to our Queen, Queen Elizabeth, today not only being the longest serving monarch that this country has ever had, but the first person to ever celebrate 70 years as being the Queen. We'll speak about both of those in a few moments' time. First of all, let's take a look at the main news stories this Sunday lunchtime. And the killer of Millie Dowler has confessed to the murders of Lynn and Megan Russell, a lawyer said. We also look at whether or not the public are ashamed of the Prime Minister Boris Johnson. But some sad news, the 5-year-old boy who was caught in a quarry has died. He was rescued yesterday. This is the quarry which is in South America, and our thoughts are with the family of that and all the people that knew that 5-year-old boy. And the legendary Indian singer Lata Mangeshkar has died. Now, and there's also a talk here that the television just also seeing this as well, just as we're seeing, and that's that the Australian television soap opera Neighbours will be axed from the schedule as Channel 5 increases investment in UK drama. And they recently said that they were ahead of Australia, so I don't know how that's going to be going about. Right, okay. They're the news stories. Some sad news there, and I'm talking there about that poor 5-year-old boy there who everybody was hoping was going to be okay. May he rest in eternal peace. Today marks the anniversary of one of the tragedies that has happened in the history of football. The Busby Babes, the Munich air disaster, which happened on February 6, 1958. The Busby Babes were doing absolutely fantastic for the European Championships, even tipped to win. But the plane came down. The manager, Sir Matt Busby, was given the last rites on at least 2 or 3 occasions. He was able to survive. But many of the Busby Babes died, including quite a few very well-known faces. Duncan Edwards and many, many more. Bobby Charlton was also involved in the incident where he survived. And it's a day which is remembered every year, not just by Manchester United fans, but anyone with any kind of decency and credibility that likes football, any sport, or just thinks about ordinary human life. Today, we also remember that it's 70 years since King George VI died on February the 6th, 1952. This today doesn't just mean that Queen Elizabeth II is the longest serving monarch here in the United Kingdom, but of course, the first one to celebrate 70 years. It's a celebration, but it's also tinged with sadness as well, because she'll be remembering her late father. And of course, just a few months ago, just under a year ago, she lost her husband, the late Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip. The Queen has stood the testimony of times, both good and bad, over 70 years. It's an amazing scenario to think that I, at 46 years of age, was thinking about the Queen as I was growing up, and she's still there now at 96, almost 97 years of age. Now let's just think about this. The Queen Mother lasted to 101. So we could potentially, wouldn't this be absolutely fantastic to be thinking of a 75-year jubilee in 5 years' time? But today is about remembering the Queen. There are a lot of people out there that are all for being a republic. I am a monarchist, but I am a traditionalist, but I'm also a modernist as well at the same time. And I like to keep traditions, but I also like to see of how changes and new looks and all this kind of things can bring a positive sense forward. I'm proud of having a monarchy here in the United Kingdom, but I don't like the way that certain people that have absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with the monarchy like to try and use that Britishness as a way not to welcome in people from other countries of the world, because that is not what we are all about. Our British upbeatness is to be a welcoming country to anybody that wants to come here and share their values and be part of everyday British life. That is what we are all about. Over the years, there has been a lot of various different things which have happened within the royal family. I know there's been some controversy about the fact that the Queen has announced that she would like Camilla to be the Queen consort when Charles becomes king. Let's not forget that regardless of what anybody thinks about Camilla, her and Charles were, when they were much younger, in love. Due to various different things, they couldn't be together. They later found togetherness. They later got married, and Camilla has done an awful lot of good work for the people of this country with charity work and being a model royal. She knew what was being expected when she came into the family. Some people know what they are going to expect when they come into the family and appreciate what is going to be happening. It's just like anyone that comes into any family. Certain ones like to make changes or like to try and bring the royal family down. And I'm not mentioning any names there, but people have an idea who I'm potentially meaning there. And I'm not just talking presently, I'm going back 40 plus years as well at the same time. So our Queen does an awful lot of good, and long may she reign over us, happy and glorious. That is indeed what it's all about. At the end, I will play the national anthem as a mark of respect. Finally, something controversial, if that's what I was just saying there wasn't already potentially controversial, there's something else I want to discuss, and that is, of course, the ABC. Now, you're probably thinking, what on earth is Ben going on about saying about the ABC? Well, this week, there has been a series of various different things which have been going on. There's been the Clean Air Zone, which has caused controversy across Greater Manchester, which has been Andy Burnham. There's the ongoing controversy regarding Boris Johnson, so that's the B. Plus, of course, the ongoing controversy with the Metropolitan Police, Cressida Dick. So that's what I'm saying about the ABC of potential resignations. Most people will be aware that I stood a stance against Andy Burnham back in 2020 with his approach for holding the government to ransom in regards to not taking Greater Manchester into tier, which I personally at the time and still do believe if we'd gone into tier 3, we could have been able to celebrate Christmas in a normal way back in 2020, but we didn't because we're in tier 3 in lockdown. We all know my views regarding the Prime Minister Boris Johnson up until it was reported about these parties and everything else, that the rules that were being broken. I was 100% behind him, saying nobody could be able to say what they would do unless, of course, unless they were running the country. They wouldn't know what to do. And considering that we'd had 100 years between the latest pandemic and the one back in 1918 and 1919, then it would be very hard to find anyone that adulthood that was around at both times that will be able to say, yes, you've got to do it like this and all this kind of stuff. So that is why I think the Prime Minister should resign. He's broken the rules, as simple as that. And of course, Cressida Dick should never have been given a position of the chief of the Metropolitan Police in the first place. That was a bad judgment by the former Prime Minister, Theresa May. The Metropolitan Police does have good police officers. I'm not in any way, shape or form trying to say that. I say anything against that, but there's been a lot of problems going on. A lot of them have also been going on during Cressida Dick's time. So the ABC of resignations are Andy Burnham, Boris Johnson, Cressida Dick. Right, that's my rant for this week over with. I've had a couple of slight rants there on various different things. Right, Ben Shatliff on Sunday will be back every Sunday live around this time, or maybe even potentially a little earlier. If you have anything that you want to make comments on, please do so. Whether you agree with what I say, whether or not you think what I'm saying is correct, whatever. I want to know. I'm not offended. Please tell me. I'm one of these people that prefers someone to say face to face if there is an issue rather than staying silent. So that is it for this week. But we'll leave this Sunday with remembering and celebrating 70 years of our Queen, Queen Elizabeth II. God bless. May she reign over us for much longer. God save the Queen.